Hi, everyone. Welcome to Unravel and Uplift. It is Wednesday, and we're going to bring you some Wednesday wellness. Right, Claire?
Yay! Wednesday wellness. Love it. So today we are going to talk cortisol. We're going to talk about the chaos, why we're tired, wired, and overwhelmed.
Yeah, like cortisol is having a major moment. There's tons of supplements out there that say reduce your stress, do all these things to make you calm and even keel. But I think a lot of people don't really understand what cortisol is. And we're going to dig in, we're going to unravel that, what cortisol is and why it's necessary, the fact and the fiction associated with cortisol. But I mean, it's a real thing. I mean, I think we've all had moments in our day, in our life, where you lay down and you're in bed and all of a sudden you're like doing a TED Talk rehearse of your whole day, and any action that's happened, you want to break it apart at that point when you should be winding down and going to bed. All of a sudden your mind is rushing. I remember okay, this is going to make me feel real old. This is going to make me feel old.
You're
so
old.
I remember before we had backlit cell phones, and I would be laying down in bed at night. I would have a notepad by my nightstand, and I would think of something in the middle of the night. It could be like 2 a.m. It would be like, oh, do this. And I would grab the pen. I'd be reaching in the dark, grabbing the pen, and I would scribble down on the notepad. And in the morning, I would have to decipher
what
by scribbling, because your mind doesn't stop, right? Like, I think there's this silent list that we always have, and your day compounds, it gets busy, and then you go to bed at night and your mind's still racing. And that's cortisol, people. That is like the nonstop stressors in your mind that's telling you to keep going, keep doing.
It's bizarre as well, because I feel like it's like the emotional overtiredness. It's like you may not physically feel tired,
right?
But your brain is on overdrive.
Yes.
And yet you're ready. You know you need to go to bed. You know that you are so done. You are toast.
Yeah.
But yet it's still there.
Yeah,
plugged
you can't
in.
quiet it. Yeah. It's like all the tabs open on your iPhone. You see to swipe up, swipe up.
I'm so guilty of that.
Oh,
Jen saw my phone the other day and was like, oh my gosh, Claire, this is horrible.
Yeah, no wonder the battery's dead.
My cortisol levels are probably super high.
Yeah.
So, just like my phone, like my phone. And then it's the other way as well, isn't it? Where you go to bed, but you wake up. You may have thought, hey, I've had a really good night's sleep, but you wake up and you're like dragging. It's like you can't like put one foot in front of the other. You're like, I've got to have that coffee and some more coffee. And it's like you almost can't bring yourself back from that sleep moment.
Right. And how do you reset that? So that's what we're going to unravel today. And really, cortisol doesn't have to be the villain. We can talk about why it's a good thing to have in our life. And then we'll talk about ways to manage it. So let's dig in.
And I think as well, like just on that, Jen, I would imagine it's very different per person as well with their cortisol levels, how cortisol works for them, but also just like their patterns. Like we talk about early birds and night owls.
Yes.
And, I think that's a true real life thing, that some people are just wired to be up and at it.
Yep.
And others are wired to be burning that late night oil.
Right.
You know?
That's when you get your best performance out of you. So that's a good point, when you understanding yourself and when cortisol could be working for you. But, our TikTok feeds, our socials, they're filled with everything. Our smart devices, our watches, our rings, we'll talk about that. We're constantly watching them to tell them how we're feeling. Because you may be in such a mode that you don't even know how you're feeling on a certain day. So then we become engrossed into what the data tells us. And cortisol, it seems to be the villain for everything. It seems to be the villain for, why is my hair falling out? Why do I have belly fat? Why am I bloated? Why am I breaking out? So for women, especially when those things start surfacing and you see them on the physical side, that also is like a big slap on the face.
I want to blame cortisol for a lot of stuff.
Right, absolutely. We're going to.
It's the mean enemy.
Right.
So Jen, will you tell us a little bit more about what cortisol actually is?
Oh, you want me to be the expert today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good thing I got my notes.
You're going to be the expert.
Good thing I got my notes. Okay. So cortisol, people, is produced by the adrenal glands. I don't really even know what those are, but you can look those up later. It's the part of the body's stress response system right? So it helps us regulate blood sugar, metabolism, inflammation, immune response, blood pressure, energy levels, and our circadian rhythm, which we'll get into later. It means your sleep pattern. So they're saying cortisol is not the enemy. We touched on that in a little bit. It's what keeps you alive when something stressful happens. So when cortisol rises, it helps the body release energy. It sharpens our focus, increases alertness, and this is your fight or flight response, right?
Oh, okay.
Right. So we can dig into that. So if a bear were to walk into this room right now, we would kick in and be like, we got to get the rip out of here, right? So that's our fight or flight response. We either stay and get eaten by the bear, or we flight and get the heck out of here.
So I'm hearing cortisol can actually be a good thing.
100%. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel it in the morning. I'll wake up. I sort of wake up naturally, but I have the alarm clock because the fear of not having the alarm clock would cause me not to sleep at night. But when I'm downstairs getting the kids' lunches ready, I can feel that cortisol start to burn. Like I'm looking at the clock. I know there's X amount of minutes where they have to get out the door. My son Blake has a very bougie lunch. So it's like salmon bowl, poke bowl. There's avocado and mango, wonton crisps.
It's your cortisol surgery.
Right. So as I'm putting that all together, I'm like, paper bag syndrome, right? Like getting it all together, even though I know I have plenty of time, but because I just get up and go, it goes, brush my teeth, wash my face, downstairs, make the lunch. I should really allow for like a good 20 minutes pre-wake up ceremony, get my mind right. But instead I just take the plunge right into the day. So that's my note to myself. If I would allow that, I probably wouldn't start to feel that cortisol rise.
And so that's why you hear so much, I suppose, around about how you should journal in the morning, you should meditate, go for a quiet walk, don't look at your phone.
Right.
All those things for the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
They even say don't drink coffee, I think. Don't drink caffeine. Make sure you just drink water for the first 20 minutes. Okay. But reality kicks in, right?
Yes.
And you're working. You have stuff you got to do. You've got stuff for other people to do. I would love to have that really leisurely start to the morning and think, hey, I can just go for a nice little stroll. Right. I can just sit in quietness.
Yes.
But real life's there, right?
Right. It's difficult to create that peace.
Yeah.
Right. Because we know if you don't create those boundaries, it can be, your day can start to be a runaway day. We've talked about this on previous podcasts where you need to control your own destiny within that. So I think that's something that we shall be mindful of is when you see that cortisol start to rise, there are things that you can do to control that chaos. So just factoring those few moments before, you get the wonton crisps out and slicing the avocado,
So we're saying there's like a massive increase of it in the morning when you first wake, and then it decreases like mid-afternoon.
Right.
Is that the time when we all want to go and get a snack?
100%. Yeah.
I mean,
and you just feel lethargic or you need that second, third cup of caffeine, whatever caffeine, vice that you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And then at nighttime, it's the lowest so that we can get prepared for sleeping.
Yeah. So that's the body's natural rhythm. What your rhythm is doing may be a little different.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And it's so interesting because just little things like, I think it becomes so habitual, doesn't it, to have your morning drink.
Yes.
I think that's one thing. Even when I detoxed at one point, did some fasting, I was like, actually, I kind of enjoy that cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And not just for because I don't even think I notice the buzz anymore, but not for that. But I actually enjoyed the taste of it.
Yes.
So I think, we've all got to be human, right? Yeah. And so it's like picking and choosing the things that you can and are willing to give up.
Right.
I actually think a phone, not having that first thing in the morning would probably be a big benefit.
Oh, for sure.
I might try this. I might try the first 10, 15 minutes of the morning, not looking at my phone.
Yeah. I mean, I think it just depends on what your day looks like. I think if you're diving right into emails or maybe reading the news, I think you have to realize what your triggers are.
Yeah.
If you have a really stressful job or career, or there's going to be emails there that are going to trigger you first thing in the morning because something's on the horizon, that may not be your best bet. Or if you are really triggered by the news or what's going on in the world or current events, that could also be a trigger that's going to lift those cortisol levels. So again, going back to what your triggers are and what is going to relax you, some people may like to turn on the news and just see what the current events are, and that would not their trigger. And that might be their part of like understanding what's going on in the world, and they can digest that. I think you just have to figure out what works for you, for sure.
I was doing a peer-to-peer coaching, and actually, one of the things I was coaching her, she decided to do differently. She liked looking at the news, but she decided to incorporate it in her middle of the day instead of before bed, because she could really acknowledge that it was triggering her,
right?
And it was really stopping her from being able to relax before she went to bed. But she knew she wanted to still hear it. It was important to her, so she just changed. She just altered the time, in which that was in her day.
Yeah, just recognizing that, I think, is half the battle, for sure. Yeah.
So cortisol in the morning is not bad.
Right.
That's one thing I'm hearing, and I want everyone else to hear, is cortisol in the morning is a good thing. It's necessary.
Yeah.
Problems start when that rhythm gets flipped.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just recognizing that, like understanding again what those triggers are and what tip those scales for you to try to stay in that natural rhythm of, in the morning it is natural, in the midday it can start to slump, and at the end you should be in that relaxed mode to set the stage for a good sleep, right? And get that rhythm going, get the good flow going.
And I can see that I'm just looking at my notes here. The Dr. Kelly McGonigal, who's a health psychologist at Stanford, said the stress response is not inherently harmful. It's designed to help us rise to challenges.
Right. And that's the good part of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's unravel that a little bit.
So like that focus, that energy, that problem solving.
Right.
So does that come into play as well? Like, when so I've got a ring, I've got an Aura ring, and it's telling me I'm constantly in a state of stress, right? Constantly. But I don't feel stressed. I just think that's how I run. Right. I think I just run.
That sounds like an excuse.
I think I just run on elevators.
Sounds like bullshit.
I know. There's 3 categories. There's 4. Restorative, relaxed, engaged, and stressed. And I'm always in either engaged or bobbing into stress, right? And I suppose the word engage is probably more specific to, you're at work, you've got a project.
Focus time.
You're focusing. You're focusing, you're problem solving. I mean, I'm constantly problem solving in my job. Like, I work with mergers. It's always a problem solving. So I'm probably always going to be engaged to stressed on my Aura ring. But also just thinking back to a previous session that we did, Jen, around how we feel kind of like we wear a badge of honor for being busy, for working hard.
Yes.
It's now got me thinking, oh boy,
right.
Am I guilty of this?
Yes. And it's interesting because how long have you had your ring?
About 4 weeks. It's still new.
So
I
wonder what your new baseline will be, right? Like, of course you get the ring out of the box. It doesn't know you from anyone. I'm sure there's preset standards that are saying like, this is how normal people run.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, hey, Claire, this is how you run. And you are running at above normal heightened level of stress.
Stress.
That would be interesting to like Google that and see like what other people acknowledge that, because there is an unhealthy obsession with us tracking everything we do and putting a benchmark into putting it in this bucket of normal. Because what does that mean? Right. And I do think that there is something to be said better under pressure. Right.
Right.
But
well, I feel like I'm better under pressure, but maybe my body's not so happy with that.
Right.
It's interesting that you say that because, like, when is data good data and when is data too much data?
Right.
Like, actually, I'm super aware that it keeps telling me that I'm stressed. And maybe that's a good thing, because maybe that's going to now help me to figure out a change or just notice my body more or notice my behaviors and that physiological state. But you can become a junkie for the data, right?
Yeah. And because the flip side of that is you're obsessed with being stressed, where, why am I stressed?
Yeah.
Should I do a breathing exercise? Should I meditate? Because if you didn't know that information and you felt that was a normal day, would you be less stressed not knowing that you were stressed?
Yeah.
Does that even make sense?
Yes, it does. It does.
Right? I don't know.
Yeah. It's like a different effect, isn't it? Because you know something. So it's almost like,
be mindful, I guess, of it, that this is what's registering based on these smart devices, but you need to know yourself.
Yeah.
And then maybe think about what your day was like. And then, like you said, put some of those boundaries in place so you can protect your peace.
But I'm hearing that some cortisol is good. So I'm like, and especially I find that I'm a lot more able in the morning to focus, to kind of knock out if I'm looking to do real good quality work, and also just knuckle down to it.
Yeah.
The mornings are better for me.
Yeah.
The afternoons become a little bit more brain foggy.
Yep.
I can sometimes be a little less productive. Like I can get distracted easier. I know that. So I really emphasize like trying to have very focused mornings, meetings in the afternoons.
Yeah. Strategy. If cortisol helps you with problem solving, then your biggest challenging tasks should default to the morning, because that's probably where you're going to feel most successful and be able to, like you said, knuckle down. I think that's a British term.
Knuckle down.
We would say buckle down here, but knuckle down is what they do across this pond.
We knuckle down.
We knuckle down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of buckle.
Good to know. You see, it's always learning here on Unravel Uplift. Always learning.
So there is a factor that chronic stress can disrupt cortisol.
Yeah.
So what's our difference there?
Well, how much is too much, right? So the chronic part is it's ongoing stress. Like your ring is constantly saying you are always operating in a state of stress, where we know that naturally life is going to give you curveballs and you will have moments of high peak stress, but it's that ongoing stress that you don't seem to come down from that's going to be the challenge, right? Yeah.
So like financial stress,
parenting demands.
Yeah, like the emotional stress.
Yeah. Work.
Well, and it's a hard midlife can be hard, right? Because there's a lot of transitions and significant life changes that happen for people willingly and unwillingly.
Yes.
You know, so I would imagine that you see quite a lot of chronic stress interrupting cortisol alongside people maybe naturally having evolutions with their cortisol as well. Like, because I'm assuming that cortisol changes as we get older as well.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
So you've then almost got that double edge going on.
Yeah. The phases of your life for sure. Like thinking about 20s and 30s. Or I look at my kids and the things that as a child, something that stresses you out is when like you can't get a round block in a square hole. Like these kids, you're freaking out, you're crying, or the things that our teenagers go through that you're like, oh, honey, you have no idea. Sure, that's stressful. I understand that you couldn't get your hair cut today. Like those are the things that can create a meltdown. And then when you have kids and you're like, God, I never thought I would be going through this. And then you're in the thick of it. But then your kids get older and your life becomes more routine, perhaps. And then a curveball comes back into play and that spikes your stress. So I think it is riding that wave of the evolution of your life and how different factors come into play, and then how we manage those stressors. But regardless of if it's the round shape to the square hole all the way up to, a major life event, like it could be a layoff, it could be a death in the family, it could be something that's high stress. It's figuring out how you manage that and how you create those coping mechanisms, because they still should be spikes. It should not be ongoing stress. Yeah. And so that's the body's programmed to take those ups and downs, but not the continual stress.
Yeah. This quote made me laugh.
Yeah.
I laughed quite a lot at this. Okay. Zebras don't get ulcers because their stress is brief. Humans keep reliving the stressor in their minds. It's almost like the goldfish, right? The goldfish that...
Oh, Ted Lasso goldfish.
Yeah.
Like you just forget.
Yeah.
That's true.
And like Nemo, you think of like Finding Nemo. Yeah, I think swimming. Of that now. Just keep swimming, keep swimming.
Yes.
Super happy. Not living the chronic stress.
Right.
And living moments of stress.
Beat yourself up about it either, right? Yeah. Like sometimes shit's going to happen and I can be very guilty of reliving that moment time and time again. But like, honey, that ship has sailed. Like you got to move on. There's nothing you can do. You can't look back now and fix it. So like try to push those stressors out of your life, because there's more ahead. Yeah. Make room for the new ones.
I've kind of got a good example, actually. So my husband was out of town last week internationally. And my son has been driving recently. He leaves his car outside and my husband and I have our cars in the garage. But my husband had taken one of the cars and I had the other car in the garage. And my son comes home and says, oh, the garage is broken. I'm like, okay, well, the cord had rusted and stuff. So I had half a garage open, half a garage closed with a car stuck in it. So I did not have a car to drive. We have my son's car, which is parked outside, which he does not want me to use because heaven forbid, he needs the car to drive to school and leave it at school all day and drive back. I need the car to do all the other things I need to do in the day as well as emergencies, you know? And we had this conversation around about how he was so like adamant he needed the car. I'm like, but it's for two little tiny journeys. I need it for the rest of the things. And it just makes me think about that kind of like the short term and then the longer term and the difference in like windows of.
And to know for your son, that was stressful for him. That was his cortisol spike, right? Like my mom wants to take my car. You know, it's really new for Noah. He's a brand new driver. So like that's his, like, that's a big deal for you to take his car. So that is interesting. You both had a little cortisol spike.
And he got on the phone straight away to the garage people. Straight away.
Like, I will get this fixed. See?
He's like, can they come out tonight? And I was like, no, because they couldn't. So then the next day they came out. So then he was happy because he only had to take the bus to school. Even though I did offer to drive it. But
I appreciate the fact that he owned that, though. He's like the man of the house.
He was. And he just got on it. Got on it. But yeah, so it makes me think of that difference. You know, those short little windows, not having it sustained, but when it does become a long-term stressor effect, that's when problems happen for cortisol.
So I think for our listeners out there and even for ourselves, like let's go through, we found this, the 5 signs your cortisol rhythm might be off. So we're going to go through these and then you at home, you take this whole lesson with us and see if these are also your triggers. And then we can talk about how we uplift those. Okay. So if the cortisol rhythm is disrupted, your body often sends some pretty clear signals. Here's number 1. You wake up exhausted. So healthy cortisol should rise within 30 to 45 minutes of waking. Well, I think mine rises in like 8 minutes after waking. So that's something I need to be mindful of. If your mornings feel impossible, your cortisol rhythm may be flattened. So like we talked about, if you wake up like bam, like hit by a truck and like life comes at you like at 1,000 miles an hour, you need that cortisol has become your alarm clock because it hits you first thing in the morning and then you go. Well, cortisol should be waking you up and getting you motivated, but not like that. That's extreme. So if that is resonating with you, if you feel like cortisol is your alarm clock, then we need to figure out a way to make that a little bit more calm.
You need to become like a teenager again, where the cortisol takes a while.
You lay in bed.
You look at that.
Figure life out.
It's true though, isn't it? It's that big difference.
Allow that time.
Actually, my nanny, my grandma, she was like that. Bam, out of bed. Like literally, it was like everyone knew. I feel like my dog's like that.
Oh, they all are.
They're like cortisol's there.
But
then they sleep like 22 hours a day as well. So okay. So
number 2.
Wake up exhausted. Okay.
Yep. Check.
So number 2, the afternoon energy crash. So like that between 1 and 3, that cortisol dips naturally, but unstable blood sugar or poor sleep can turn this into a major crash. And things to look out for are fatigue, sugar cravings, and brain fog. You know, we were just talking before about volleyball tournaments. My daughter plays volleyball and I'm exhausted at a weekend because we are up at 5 a.m. We're at the door at 6. So I'm having to be on, you know, like straight away on. And then you're there for like the entire day. And then you hit that afternoon dip and there's nothing healthy there. I mean, I take so many snacks, but you're not allowed to take them in. So you're having to head out to the car to smuggle things in. Please, volleyball centers, have healthy food. Like we teach these kids, eat healthy. And then you just offer like all types of candy and popcorn and stuff. Please have something healthy for us parents because we're there for hours. We would buy it. We would. But it's funny, isn't it? Because you do notice it. And then I find that on those days, my dip when actually happens, like that dip point hits at 11 a.m. Because I've been up at 5 and on straight away and having to be on. by 11 a.m., I'm exhausted.
Yeah. And like the cravings for sure. And the brain fog for me is huge. Like I've noticed brain fog, especially when I do have those cortisol spikes. So during the day, I work from home. Everybody's gone to school, work. And I have more conversations with my dog about where I've left my phone, or I'll go to like one cabinet to get like a cup out for water or tea, and I'm in the wrong cabinet. And I open the cabinet and I'm looking at the cabinet and I'm like, why am I in this cabinet? And I'm saying that out loud like a crazy person. I'm like, why am I in this cabinet? I'm like, Roxy, why did I come in this cabinet? And then I'm like, oh, the light bulb goes off. And I'm like, oh, next cabinet. And I get what I need. But the amount of times I do that midday, I don't notice it in the morning as much, but midday, oh, it's scary. Like it's scary how many times a day I'm like, where's my phone? What was I just doing? Why did I come in this room for? It's crazy.
Or you put something in the wrong place. Like I think I put something in a cupboard the other day that needs to go in the fridge, and something in the fridge that needs to go in the cupboard.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Okay. So if that resonates with you.
Resonates it?
Yeah. Here it is.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3. Tired but wired at night. So if your brain starts solving life's biggest problems at midnight, we talked about that, it might be your cortisol talking. One of the most common stress patterns is that tired but wired. You feel exhausted physically, but mentally restless. This happens when cortisol remains elevated in the evening, and the common culprits are screen late at night, guilty, unresolved stress, sometimes guilty, and then irregular sleep patterns, which I do notice that I really try to be mindful to be 10:30 and 11. I like to be lights out, but
you're good.
I am not consistent. I am not consistent. Sometimes it's 11:30, sometimes it's midnight.
Wow.
And then I set my alarm. I'm like, oh shit, it's 5 hours and 37 minutes of sleep I'm going to get. Right. And then that stresses me out because I know I'm going to get less sleep, and then less sleep is going to build the cortisol, and it just is like a snowball. It's like a landslide. So that tired but wired, sometimes my days can drag, like meaning I don't get the to-do list done because I get preoccupied with other things that work or life throws at me. And then at night, that compound starts. So I'm like, I didn't get this done. I get this done. I get this done. Then I lay in bed and stew on the things I didn't get done personally and professionally. So I just need to be more mindful of that for sure.
Well, and I think it's at 8 o'clock, isn't it? Like sometimes like we've been running the kids around.
Yes.
And then 8 o'clock you sit down and it's like you want to watch a show, but at the same time you're like, you've got all the emails that have hit your Gmail from the school or from different clubs or just life in general. Like, don't get hacked. We will not ask you for your security details. You know, all of
You've won a cruise.
Yeah, all of the emails that sit there in your inbox that I know I should unsubscribe to.
Right.
Or they're just junk and somehow they've got through a filter that I don't even know about filters. So I'm not even going to go there. I'm not pretend I'm an expert. So you feel like you have to do those things at night. So then when do you start like winding down? And then going back to like that coaching session, it really sat with me. Just that change in the day for her.
Yes.
Just to watch the news during the day instead of the evening, because it meant that she was in a better mindset ahead of bedtime.
And I think something that really impacts us being in the Midwest is the icky weather. So when it's cold out, or if it's rainy, if it's snowy or terribly cold, it's really hard not to do anything but get on your phones or watch TV, or you're constantly in front of a screen. Where on the days that you have nice weather or you can be outside, you'll be out maybe talking to your neighbors, you'll walk the dog, you'll do things that get you out of that screen time, because you do get sucked in. It's like a death spiral. You'll start the endless scroll. You'll look at all the emails that really don't matter. Oh, Pottery Bar's having a sale. Squirrel. Like you just, it's not good.
It's almost like April to November. You're so right. April to November, it's like, okay, you can get out of doing those things, but then it's being tempted to do later nights.
Yeah.
You know, because it's lighter. It's like, oh, let's stay up a little bit later.
Yeah.
You know, oh, let's go for drinks here, or let's do XYZ, you know? And again, it's like, I mean, you don't want to live your life right just sleeping.
Right.
You know? But I think it's just getting that right balance.
Yeah. Okay. So tired but wired. If that resonates with you, figure it out.
Sign number 4 is intense sugar or carb cravings. So elevated cortisol can raise blood sugar, Later drops can trigger cravings for fast energy. So this has been me my whole life then. Wanting the sugar, wanting the carbs, telling myself no.
Right.
I mean, even just earlier, my daughter got home and was eating candy.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to stay away from eating the candy. Oh my gosh, I ate 20 pieces.
Right.
I don't know why.
Yeah. I do that all the time. The kids will get home around 2-ish and I'll hear them. My office is upstairs. I'll come down to check in with them to say, how was your day? You know, are you on the way to an activity? Did you do the X, Y, and Z? And then you're just sitting there because they're munching on their endless, beautiful metabolisms. And and so you're like, I will join you in this munching. And there's times where I realize I'm not even snacky or hungry, but I'm just eating it to be social. Yeah. But when I do that enough, then even if they don't come home or if it's like a weekend, that window happens to me and my mind will be like, oh, it's time to have cookies.
Yeah.
It's time to eat chips.
I need sugar.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So cortisol's high.
Those wonderful metabolisms.
The carbs and sugars.
Yeah.
I know. R.I.P. metabolism.
Yeah. And then sign 5 kind of goes in with this, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So that weight gain around the midsection.
Oh,
yeah.
It's the worst. Yeah.
So cortisol encourages fat storage around the abdomen, but it's important to emphasize cortisol, I can't even speak today. Cortisol alone does not cause weight gain. It's influenced by insulin, sleep, diet, and hormonal changes. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. We're just middle age, right?
Yeah,
just a whole great big mixing pot for it.
I don't know about you guys, but
throw it all in.
That midsection weight gain is real. Like I'm a short torso. I'm a long leg, short torso gal. Mm. And so I can eat, I can breathe. I can eat one thing. And we've done the digestive enzymes. Our whole little soccer mom group has done the digestive enzymes. And it looks like I'm flipping pregnant. I'm like, what the hell?
I've done the fasting.
Yes. Like all the things.
Don't eat for 12 hours.
Right. And like limit dairy, no bubbly drinks. Don't chew gum. Don't use a straw.
Don't eat carbs. Right. Don't even look at a carb.
Right. Yeah. So listeners, if you have a life hack that helps with the weight gain around the midsection for no reason at all,
please share.
Yeah.
Please share. You can become a millionaire.
Yeah. We will share this with our community. Yeah. Drop it in the chat. We want to hear from you. But yes. So cortisol could be a trigger for that as well, amongst many other things as we've shared. So
cortisol is good. It helps us with fight and flight.
Yeah.
Helps us focus, helps us with that morning.
Yep. Motivation, problem solving.
But it can get shifted.
Yes.
And when it gets shifted, that's when the problems start happening because it can then work towards us like an enemy.
Yep. Yeah.
And give us midsection fat.
Right. Yeah. And that is the moral of the story today, guys. That's all we have to say. Goodbye.
So, okay, we've done the unravel.
We unraveled
this. Okay, we unraveled cortisol, and I'm hoping that's helped some people because you know it is one of those talked about things, and it's almost mythical. And then you go down the whole rabbit hole of I'm going to Google it or Chat GPT it, and then you get things that maybe you don't want to know about it. But hopefully that's given the skinny on the good and the bad of cortisol.
Right. Yeah. And going back to protecting your peace and putting those mindful moments into your day can help balance that. So some of those 5 things that we went over, if you're saying, oh yeah, that's me, then just recognize that that's you and figure out how you can maybe flip the script on that.
I like that.
All right. Let's uplift some things.
Yeah. Let's get all positive about this now. So, so daily habits that reset cortisol. Okay. So there's good news. The cortisol rhythms are incredibly responsive to daily habits. Oh, okay.
Hello.
So let's start with habit number 1.
Yep.
Hello, sunshine.
Yeah. Hello, sunshine. Morning sunlight. Light exposure early in the day helps regulate the circadian rhythm clock benefits. So it equates to better energy, improved sleep, and healthy cortisol timing. Even 10 to 20 minutes of outdoor light can help. So again, get out there. I know in the winter months and when weather it's challenging, but if you can even sit by a window that has bright light, that can be a game changer.
So in Iceland, I went to Iceland years ago, took my now husband on a surprise trip. Funny story. There used to be a store in England called Iceland, and the store was like freezer food kind of store. You would go in there and buy all your food that was just like the put freezer. So I surprised him with a trip to Iceland. At first he thought I was taking him to the freezer store. No, we went to the actual country. But so we went in December where they only have 5 hours of daylight. But what every single Icelandic person does, plus all the tourists, on an evening is you go to a hot spa, like the geothermal. Can you tell my cortisol is waning right now? The geothermal like areas where you have a pool, and then inside they have all of these sunlights.
Right.
So they sit there for an hour in front of one of these lamps.
Yeah.
That gives them enough sunlight to make them feel good.
Yes.
But they're doing it at the wrong time of the day if they're doing it in the evening.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't, Okay, well, they got it partially figured out.
But maybe
E for effort, Icelanders.
Maybe it was all the tourists that were doing it at the right time of the day, and they're all there in the morning.
Yeah.
So, but I could see why that would be important then.
Yes.
Because even when you're living somewhere where there is not as much sunlight, having that sun lamp was good for them to actually get that cortisol kick.
Yeah. And I am guilty as charged as being the people that will buy all that woo-woo. I love it. I have a light lamp that this past winter was decent. We had a lot of sun.
Yeah.
But there's some winters that we get in the Midwest and even spring where it's gray. Like you don't see the sun. You'll have 10 days with like no sun. And I bought, it's like maybe $30 on Amazon. I bought one of those sunlights and it is bright. And the light is different than what comes from a normal light. I didn't get it out this past year, which that's good because I didn't feel like we had a lot of gray days, but you will learn the more that you spend time with us on Unravel and Lift that I buy all of this stuff. So I have one of those lights, and
we always ask her for things that we know that she's going to have that none of us have.
Yeah.
But I try and walk the dog every single day, even in the winter. I am that person that is in several layers.
Yeah.
I look like the Michelin Man. I'm walking, you probably see me around the neighborhood walking the dog. Because the dog needs to get out as well.
Yeah.
The dog needs that morning.
That's a good segue into habit number 2 then. Take it and run.
Some morning movement. Okay. So exercise helps regulate your stress hormones. Even short movements help. So walking, stretching, yoga, quick workouts. So Dr. Amy Shah emphasized that even 15 minutes of movement can shift your energy for the day. I'm such a morning workout person. I mean, I will get up at 5 and work out at 6 a.m.
Yeah, that's aggressive. I mean, I will run in the summer when it's that hot because my body can't take the heat. So I will get out early because of that. But for people who get up that early and work out, that's impressive. I'm more like 6:30, 7, I'll get a workout in because number one, I don't want to shower twice. That's the real reason, guys. And so a midday workout does not work for me. So I like to get it done in the morning. Yeah.
And I just have to do that early. I have to get up, do it.
Yeah.
Just because the rest of the day is kind of just unscripted.
Yeah.
A little. So at least I know I've got my good segment in. And then I like to walk the dog in the morning if I can. And if I get a bonus walk some point during the day or in the evening, great.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. So get moving.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3, balanced first meal. Now there's a lot of noise about when we eat as women, right? Like, do you fast? Do you protein load? Avoid carbs, no sugar. So this is what we're going to tell you today. Whatever works for you. But a protein-rich breakfast can stabilize blood sugar and reduce stress hormone spikes. Protein helps regulate, how do you say that?
Ghrelin?
Sure. That's what we're going to go with. Which is your hunger hormone.
Ghrelin. Oh, ghrelin.
That makes more sense.
Sorry.
Blood sugar, energy levels. And then an example meal could be eggs and vegetables, Greek yogurt and berries, and protein smoothies. So I sort of get that. Like in the morning when I hit the ground running, I don't really have the desire to eat. I'm not really even hungry in the morning, but I do see benefit if I at least have a smoothie in the morning because, you're supposed to eat your body weight in protein. So for me to get 140 grams of protein, I got to start in the morning. So I will try to get 30 grams, first thing in the morning, but I usually never hit that 130, 140, usually like 100-ish. That's hard to get to. That's a lot of protein.
you know I'm ravenous in the morning.
Yeah.
I am like, I'm starving.
Yes. It's true. Yeah.
And I will go hunt food down if I need to.
Yeah.
Like it
It's
does.
uncomfortable.
It does. Luckily, when we travel, there's also someone else who's just as ravenous as me in the
Mhm.
morning. So we tend to head out and like find the food. But yeah, I like a protein
Yeah.
heavy breakfast, like yogurt and berries or a smoothie.
Yep.
If I've got time, eggs, great. But
Mhm.
yeah, I feel like it just sets me up good. And I actually eat before I work out.
Yeah.
And I know there's like that whole, oh, you shouldn't eat before you work out. Like I have to. If
Yeah.
not, I'm going to collapse on the floor.
Yeah. It's whatever works for you. I think,
Mhm.
again, there's so much noise about when to eat, how to eat, what to eat. If it feels good to you, then I think continue to do that.
Well, and I'm just taking note of this ghrelin, this hunger hormone.
I hope that's how you say it. If not, we are going to start saying it that way
We
from
are
here on out.
ghrelin.
Yeah.
So great advice there.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
you
then
take this one.
habit 4, a wind down routine. So evening habits signal safety to the nervous system. Helpful practices are dimming lights, reducing screens, reading, gentle stretching. And a sleep researcher, Matthew Walker, emphasizes sleep is the single most effective thing we can do to reset brain and body health each day.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny because I've been a believer of this since I was very young, that I would get prepared for an exam and I knew I needed to sleep. Now I studied psychology, so I think I kind of like studied a lot of like sleep patterns, those circadian rhythms. And I think at some point I learned that you need a certain point of your sleep, the deep sleep, that REM sleep, that can help you consolidate your learning from the day. So I would go out and party, but when I had an exam, I made sure I always had a good night's sleep before that exam, just so that I knew that I was, or if I'd been studying, to consolidate that learning. And I swear,
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
I even try and train my kids that, you know, you can live your life and you can have fun, but if you've got something really important where you need to consolidate learning, make sure you're getting that good night's sleep.
Yeah. It is a game changer, whether you're looking at your smart device and you get a perfect sleep score, you know, if you can get that above like 98, that makes a big difference. Or if you're doing things that disrupt your sleep, whether it's the stress, the cortisol, drinking, what have you, that can trigger a bad night's sleep. They say gut health and sleep are the roots to whatever path you're going to choose, good, bad, or indifferent. So if you can get good sleep and good gut health, that'll be a future segment. That's half the battle. So sleep is so incredibly important.
And I suppose that wind down routine looks different for everyone, right?
Yeah.
Because, you know I like to, for me, it's watching some TV where I don't have to think. Like literally 30 minutes before bed, if I can just put a show on and just literally kind of just zone out, that helps me then get a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
But for someone else, it could be meditating.
Yeah, reading a book, taking a bath. Yeah. It's, again, getting to know yourself and what triggers you to get in that, like, wind down mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. We have really unpacked today.
We sure did.
I've actually learned some stuff as well.
Yeah, same. And I think the most important thing is just being mindful, right? And knowing who you are and what works for you, but recognizing that cortisol is a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear from you all. If there are things around cortisol that you have found have been really helpful, have been, don't do this, you know, if someone has a hack for that mid-section weight, please let us know. We'd love to know that.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, do share anything that can be helpful. We're a community. We want this to be a resource sharing group. We want to share those life hacks, and we also want to hear from you. We want to hear from what works and what doesn't work for you.
Yeah. And if you know someone who has been struggling with one of those 5 things, please send this episode on to them if you think it can help. If you're feeling tired, wired, overwhelmed, this could be an episode for them.
Yeah. And we'll just keep this conversation going. So we're going to urge you again, unashamedly, to follow Unravel and Uplift wherever you listen to your podcasts so that you never miss an episode.
Yeah. And follow us on socials. You can find us on all the major outlets, Unravel and Uplift, and we can keep that conversation going, like Claire said.
Please leave us messages. We would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
We really would.
Yeah. So thank you for another fabulous episode and unraveling and uplifting. together. Bye, guys.
Bye.